folks, how you doing? And welcome to my channel. I was just looking at this little ringlet here. Can you see that? Isn't that cute? I noticed this. I've got a little ringlet here quite often. And I've just tried to push my hands through it and make it a bit more like this, but actually this looks nicer, I think. Yeah, I can't stop looking at it, and I've noticed it. Anyway, I am a time traveler. Did you know that? No, didn't you? I didn't know it really until this past couple of weeks. So let's go back in time, literally, to where I started to realize that there was something, not everything was as it seems. So last year in March, we went to York for a little mini holiday. And York is in a place called Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. And it's got an absolutely ancient history. There is a place there called the Shambles, which is a street of really old medieval Tudor Elizabethan type buildings. You know, the ones that lean to the side or lean forward, narrow streets, cobbled roads, everything. So we'd gone there and we were walking towards the Shambles. And as we were getting near the Shambles, I had this weird feeling of this isn't right. Every time I've been to York, the Shambles has been a lot more than this. In fact, the part of York we were walking through felt quite modern, but it's not a modern place, is York. A lot of it, most of it, is old-fashioned. But anyway, we got to the Shambles, and I looked up, and it says the Shambles because the street is called the Shambles. So I was like, oh, the Shambles, and I was like, but it's only one street that starts at the top and goes down to the bottom. Eh? And I got really confused and anxious because every time I'd been to York in the past, the Shambles wasn't just one street. The Shambles was a lot of streets. Now I know people watch weird, but there are old streets in York. I'm talking about the Shambles. So the Shambles, that is the Shambles Street where it's the actual ancient shops. When I have been to York in the past, most of York has been full of those. And I was like, this is weird. This is really weird. And I could not understand it. And we walked up and down it and we walked through all of the streets. And it was like almost like I was trying to find what it was I'd seen that was no longer there. I didn't think anything of it. It's always been there in my mind that I've gone back, but I've just got on with my life since, and that's been it. Anyway, fast forward to this year when in June or July, June, we went to Hampton Court Palace, just outside London. And I first went to Hampton Court Palace back in the early noughties, well, the mid noughties, 2006, 2007 time. I loved it. And I'd always gone on about how amazing Hampton Court Palace was, the fact that it was surrounded by fields, surrounded by forests. It was untouched. It was like stepping back in time. We will love it. We need to go and do a vlog there. You will love it. It's an amazing place. It's so untouched. It's not built around. It's beautiful. So we were on our way to Hampton Court Palace because we were staying in an Airbnb near Hampton Court Palace. And as we were getting near, it was like 5 minutes away, and I was like, this can't be right. You've not got the correct address in because Hampton Court is surrounded by fields upon fields upon fields. And we are surrounded by inner city, outskirts of London, houses, cars, traffic, schools, doctors, shops, everything, congestion. I said, this is not on the way to Hampton. So I got up the Google Maps and it was there, Hampton Court. And I'm like, it can't be. It can't be. I have been to Hampton Court and it was surrounded by fields. And then all of a sudden, Gary said, oh, look, there's the Hampton Court chimneys there. You're the big Tudor-like chimneys. And literally, my blood ran cold because that is not how I remembered it. And we got near and we go over the bridge, over the Thames, and it's so built up. And I was like, that isn't even Hampton Court. Even though it looks like Hampton Court, that's not the Hampton Court that I remember from last time. But physical Claire knew that, of course, it's still Hampton Court Palace. And it just made me feel ill. It made me feel really disorientated, really ill, really anxious. And I even, when I came back from that trip to London last year, well, not last year, this year, I'm doing it again, this year, and I had that weird cold and I came back and I was quite ill for a week afterwards. I reckon a lot of it was to do with that as well. Um, so we went round other places And the morning that we were going to Hampton Court, we came out of our Airbnb, which was just down the road opposite. So as we came out of the Airbnb, you look down the road and there's Hampton Court. And I was like, oh my God, it's on fire. I'm not laughing at being on fire, but it was on fire. I could see smoke and flames coming out of the top of Hampton Court. And I looked at Gary, and Gary didn't see anything. And I'm like, and I didn't actually say anything. I was like, that place is on fire and nobody gives a shit. And we're walking towards it, and all of a sudden the flames just stopped. And I was like, that is nuts. That is nuts. So we got to Hampton Court. I didn't like it. When I went the first time, you'll love this, there was lots of people in period dress. Um, it was literally like he as in King Henry VIII. It was literally like he was still there. They were all still there. It was literally like, in the next room. Now I know what spirit is in the next room, but this felt very real. It felt like a fantasy novel. Okay, like a time slip novel. It had, Outlander had nothing on the experience I had. And we got there, I just didn't like it. It felt very flat. The energy felt very flat. And I'm like, is it the frequency? Is it the energy? What's happened? Um, the magic of the court, and I'm not saying that all courts are magic because I don't for a minute believe they are, but you know what I mean? The Tudor court had gone, 100% gone. It was just flat. It was an empty shell. And I hated it. I hated the whole day. It was weird. Um, in the afternoon, I then Googled, I was just Googling the new part of the building, what they call the new part of the building, which I think is Georgian or just before. And I found out there was actually a fire in the Georgian building that I think took the top floor out. And I was like, that's nuts. That's nuts. And when I realised, when I looked at it, where I would have been stood coming out of the Airbnb, I would have been looking at the Georgian bit. So then we've got three examples now of within a short space of just over a year, where we've got things that we can't explain and things that can be backed up as well. Um, Especially the fire, because I saw flames coming out of Hampton Court that day. I saw smoke coming out of the roof without a shadow of a doubt. So I pondered it and I pondered it. I spoke to my guides about it, and it was almost like you're time slipping. But they called it time slipping. And a foot in both worlds. Now we know that everything is going on at the same time, simultaneously. And that's how, when I do the channeling the historical figures, of which I haven't stopped doing, by the way. It's not been happening recently, but it will do. Um, why they can still be in incarnation now, but also in spirit, because everything is happening at once. And that's possibly why I enjoy doing that and why I can do that. And why that doesn't get in my brain that, well, how can that famous person be dead, Purcell? Isn't that washing up liquid? How can that famous person be dead, but also alive as well? That's how, because I can flip through the timelines, never without a stone circle. Um, so the past few months, and I've spoken about this on my channel for those of you that follow me a lot and watch a lot of my content. We know we've had the glitches in London with the horses and Big Ben going glitchy and all kinds of things around about that time that were going strange, that we were starting to be more conscious of timelines collapsing. Many of us have. Many of us on here have been really conscious of it on a personal level, collective level, and a global level. So this year, after that incident with Hampton Court, I'll look at the clock and it'll be 10 o'clock. I'll look back at the clock half an hour later, it'll still be 10 o'clock. Honestly, I will find myself having a conversation and I'll sit there and I can't even explain this. I have the same conversation the next day with the same person, sat in the same clothes, and I'll find myself sitting there going, I'm sure I've already had this conversation, sat here with this energy. And that's happening frequently. This week, no, the past week, I had it confirmed in a session that I went to for myself. And I didn't even ask about the time slip thing, didn't even come into it. It just came up organically in a session that I was a time traveler. And this wasn't somebody that I went to see that cross your palm with silver. She'll tell you what you want to hear. Wasn't that at all. It was somebody very credible. Um, Lots of experience behind them, high priestess energy, etc. And it was like, wow. Not last night, the night before, I had the weirdest, and a lot of these time slippy energies are coming out like that, where you go to places and they're not how you remembered them, or you're driving along and things are happening that you're seeing things and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm also doing it via sleep state as well. So this week I had three dreams involving the White House and US politics. The first one, I don't even mention it because I can't actually. The first one involved Trump, and I can't really give you any more information because a lot of it's been wiped. All that I knew was there was this big little ball of tension with many people stood around him, and there was this big ball of tension. But there was also this other frequency that says, do not let yourself go into fear with this. It is a time to rise, not go into fear, and that all will be well. And that could actually be a bit of a timeline thing as well. Again, some of this stuff is really hard to believe because we can visualize any situation in our world. And the more that we do this work, the more that we can enter different timelines. Does that make sense? If we go into a timeline of fear, that's what we'll see more of. The universe will bring you more fear stories of that situation or person. If you go into a timeline of not fear, you'll get more situations and stories of that person and situation. But that's what came from that. Then the next clip was I was stood in the White House, but it was the White House, an old-fashioned White House, Victorian times, I don't know. It felt like that. And I could smell it, I could feel it, I could see the colours, the furniture. And I was talking to a butler that is not there now, a butler that will be well dead and buried. And he was showing me um, the rooms where people would stay. Um, and the trays that they'd bring food on and the china that they'd use. And there was like a little unit in there as well. I don't even know what the name of it is. But I knew what it was in the dream where they'd put these trays and everything. And he was explaining all the routine of dignitaries and stuff coming to stay at the White House. Then the next clip was I was stood what felt like outside the White House after the Kennedy assassination, and the hearse, you call it a hearse in America, came in with Kennedy's body, and it was so surreal. And I literally, when I came to, I don't even believe that was a dream because it didn't feel like a dream. And I'm having so many episodes where one minute I'm awake and the next it's gone. I'm gone. And it's not asleep. You know when you're asleep. But when I came to, I felt so weakened. It reminded me of two things. You know the film Ghost, where is it where they're on the tube train? I don't know if it's the man that, or is it the ghost that's on the tube train that, I don't know. There's something about weakness and spirit and it taking all your energy, and that's what it felt like. But it also reminded me of Outlander when I read Outlander. Um, and the character Claire Fraser is describing what it's like to go through the stones and you feel weakened and the energy that it takes from you to go through those stones. And like, what this morning, was it yes? I don't know. See what I mean? One morning this week, it must have been one Tuesday, and you see, this is happening a lot as well, which is freaking me out. Monday, and I was like, I feel so weakened. I don't feel part of this earth. I feel weakened. But I knew that I had to kind of put the best foot forward and just get on with the day and go to the gym and come back to earth. Because it's important to come back to earth and not stay in airy fairyland. So that's when I thought, you know what, I'm going to come and do a video about this because I've been doing a lot of work on this these past couple of weeks. Because I genuinely believe we're going into times where more people are going to be able to switch this on. I think many people are doing this without realizing it. Um, I think future humans will be doing it without giving a big's notice. You know what I mean? They'll be doing it without even thinking about it. Time traveling will be just as normal as going to the shops for us or going for a haircut. They won't even think about it. They won't even think twice about it. I genuinely feel as well that for all that at the minute it feels like I'm doing it energetically, because one of the things my guide said this morning was, you know, when you start to see loved ones in spirit, but you see them via your dreams, and we know that you see them via your dreams, so it gives you that excuse to, it was only a dream in case it is too much for you to process. It's the same with this type of stuff. At the minute, it's been done in a way that if I really couldn't handle it or process it, it's just imagination. It's just overthinking. It's just a dream. It's a safe space. And I think many people get into this safe space for a reason, just to give them that safe space to work through it. And then, and this is off the back of yesterday's video, where you have to take a big deep breath and go with it and take on your gift or your craft and take it on with pride and go forward with it. Um, and I do feel that we will be able to do it physically. I really do. And I think possibly people out there already can do it physically. Um, am I going into future scenarios? I kind of think I am, but the memory of that isn't that clear. It's not that clear, the future scenarios. I am conscious at the minute of a lot of timelines collapsing and something strange going on in relation to the future of the planet. That's interesting. So I'm getting a vision of, this sounds off, I hate using the word muggles, but that there's a group of muggles that just do not want to awaken, or they can't awaken, or they're struggling to awaken, or they're just non-believers. But the vision I got was these muggles being put to sleep so timelines can be shifted. Does that make sense? See what I mean? It's a bit out there. I will try and keep it as simple as I can. Um, So I'm looking outside and the sky looks lovely. We've had a snowy day here, and well, it's now 25 to 4 here, so it's early evening. Well, it's getting into late afternoon, early evening, so the sun's going down. Um, that's the vision I've just got. Also, as well, it makes me think of the places like the Bermuda Triangle, places where people have died in mass, en masse, where some bodies are found but some are never. And you can say, well, they've been blown to smithereens or they've been drowned. True fact. Scientists, you are welcome. Um, but one of the things I was given this afternoon was the Titanic was aspects of time travel. And yes, bodies went into the sea and possibly got eaten by sharks. I get that, and that does happen. But and that's why we've done work on the Titanic on this channel, and the Titan sub, whatever it's called, um, about how that area of the sea could be a potential for time travel. But in order for muggles or humans, we can all be a muggle at times, to be honest. We can all be doubting Thomas. In order for it to be digestible, it's done as an accident or as a tragedy, if that makes sense. Yeah. Another one I was shown was Bermuda Triangle, which I've shown. We've spoken about that on this channel as well. But also Twin Towers. I shared the other week, didn't I, about again, now I think that that was a kind of form of time travel with the Twin Towers. So again, another disaster that was possibly also an act of time travel. Oh, we could have such fun with this. We could have such deep dives with this subject. It's untrue. Um, what do you think? Sorry, I can't get the vision of the Twin Towers out my head, so I'm just sitting with it to see why I've got the vision of the Twin Towers. I'll tell you what, I'm being shown the fact that, and I'm guilty of this, we've all gone down many rabbit holes with the Twin Towers and deep, 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 dark, dangerous ones as well. But what Spirit is saying is there was also something else going on there at an energetic level. Um, that in some aspects, for some people, has been lost because we were so focused on X, Y, Z, etc., etc., etc. I know when I started to do tarot, some depictions of the tower card in the tarot gives me vibes of the Twin Towers. Apologies for being graphic. You can switch off now if you want. Okay. Made a decision to stay. Okay. You know the tower, sometimes it looks like it's throwing people out. Well, the tower card. Well, there was aspects of that with the Twin Towers. If you think about 11, 11 is the starting point, the new cycle. If you think about the tower card, have we got a tower card? Let's just reach up here for a deck. If you think about the tower card, I don't know why I'm even looking for a tower card and distracting myself. It's all about clearance and shock, and out comes clearance from shock. So I've got the deck here. I'm just trying to find the tarot card. And that incident, there it is. There you go. That incident that we saw, that tragic accident or tragic whatever it was, was a big clearing and the start of many people's spiritual awakening and life awakening. What card goes with I don't know why I'm asking what card goes with the tower, but let's go with it. What card goes with the tower in relation to this subject? Five of Pentacles out in the cold. And Page of Wands. An idea. This isn't about 9/11, I don't think. Anyway, let's hope not. Yes, it is. It's what I've just said. We can be that focused on the underbelly of it that we don't realize the Five of Coins. These two here are that focused on the system. Take it away from the meaning of this card. The system, the powers that were, etc. It's causing them pain. They can't move forward. There's a deeper meaning with that. So I also, yeah, let's not spend too much time around it. And if we do, let's just keep to the spiritual aspect. I do believe that there was time travel going on there. Why would they have to cause, when I say they, I don't mean you know who's. Why would it have to come as an, yeah, because humans are in a position right now where shock tactics need to be used to grab people's attention. We're so enmeshed in the day to day that shock tactics, it's almost like loud bang comes in to grab your attention, like Titanic had to grab people's attention. Um, and being shown portals, vortexes, stone circles, etc., lakes, rivers that were used by our ancients to time travel. But at the same time, I'm being shown ancient shamans, druids that were aware that people started to use these. I'm hearing the word temples as well, um, portals, stone circles, etc., to do bad deeds in time travel. That it's like any kind of craft you do, it's got to be bringing good, otherwise it contaminates it. So they lowered it or closed it down altogether. But as more and more of us start to go on this spiritual awakening journey and slowly build up to this and start to step away from doubting Thomas energy, these places will come back on grid eventually. And it's already starting to happen where you could go stand near a sun circle now and you physically will still be here. It's not going to be scary, but you'll be able to, what was that? Or just after seeing it, what was that? Do you know what I mean? Um, time travel, time travel, time travel. This video isn't just about me, it's about you as well. Time travel. When humans start to embrace time travel can be beautiful because you can go backwards and forwards and around your own time as well to really learn. I'm also being told as well, another sign of a time traveler, maybe we'll ask what other signs are, is an avid reader because that's where we get our time travel fix from. I wonder if that's why I kind of kicked off. If you watch my booktube channel, you'll know with the Diana Gabaldon books because they started off with time travel and stone circles, and it just went from there. For me, it did, and I understand that why because the whole stone circle thing, I just loved it and I wanted more of it, but she went well away from that. Um, but one of the signs is reading, being an avid reader because it's allowing you to to flex those. I've always said it allows you to flex your psychic muscles to get used to visualizing things that are not physically here, but it also gets you used to seeing other realities and being able to time travel. Also, writers can time travel as well. This is how, if I got two people here and says, right, I want you to write me a book about the Tudor court. The person that can time travel without realizing it will do it beautifully. The other person that can't, this is what I'm feeling, so I'm channeling. The other person that can't time travel will really struggle with it. They'll struggle to get the energy of it. So writers can be time travelers as well. Um, Many people have switched off the ability to time travel because a fear around it, a fear of what if I get trapped in another dimension? What if I get trapped in another space? Um, I'm also hearing a lot of the time when we get obsessed over certain parts of history, there can be aspects of us that are still trapped. Would not let's not do it's not a fear tactic, but anchored in another aspect. That can be via past lives, but also time traveling. Um, you see, that's interesting because when I had my episode, it felt like that at Hampton Court this year. I just wanted to get away from it. I didn't understand it now. If I went back again, I'd understand it better. But I went into freeze frame. I went into fear with it. Um, because it's almost like questioning your sense of reality. So, other signs of being a time traveler: vivid dreams, weakness on waking up, like happened to me, passion for certain type parts of history that you will be visiting a lot, places that you go to that you just love and you can feel the energy, but you're not sure what it is you feel. You just know there's something there that would have been in bygone times, a place where you could have gone physically. Also, as well, things that I've spoken about, like you go back to a place that you went on Monday and it looks different, or you go and it's an old street, you go back on Tuesday and it's a brand new street. Um, People can do it when driving as well. So they're driving along and you see a Morrison's on the way, then on the way back you don't see Morrison's. Um, People that can sense the future. I'm not talking about psychics here. I'm talking about people that can sense the future. So maybe they've gone to a future timeline where there is a World War III, or where there is a severe climate crisis thing, or there's something happens and they come back into physics and they come back into the present and they can't deal with that and they can't even explain it because they don't know why. They just become so obsessed by World War III, so obsessed by this, so obsessed by that, because they've gone onto a timeline where it happened. Also, as well, and when I'm flitting here, I'm time traveling a bit here in this video. I'm only joking. Another example of it is when you have dreams of other timelines that you could have had in the past. And that is like wicked, is that? That's a proper mind twister, is that? It's like, why am I dreaming of this, but it's not how it was? Because it's clearing all those possibilities, that energy that's still there. Um, The soul is vast. The human experience and the soul experience is also vast as well. So let's see what else wants to come through in relation to time travel. Meditation, grounding, music, spiritual music. I shared that, girls. Where is my phone? It's down there. The YouTube channel. Let me find her channel. I recommended her this week. For those of you that didn't watch that video, here she is. Let's hope to God I don't press play and then get slapped on here for monetization. That's it. Chantress Seba. So finding lovely spiritual healing music and regularly listening to that. I suppose you can also say shamanic journeying, which is what I do as part of my job, is also a form of time travel. You see, the matrix that we lives in shows us time travel as portals, which it is, stone circles, which it is, but there's also other aspects of time travel, which when you go through it, well, no, there's no stone circles. I'm still here in bed, but I was in watching JFK. This is where, I mean, I don't wanna this is where your knowledge comes from, and understanding that these things are not just black and white. That's how you do that, and that's the way you do it. These are vast subjects. Um, I think when we channeled the Brontes, I'm sure that came through, didn't it? I'm sure it was was it Emily, where they were able to time travel and channel stuff. And you think about how I'm going on a tangent. I'm not going on a tangent, it's still part of this video. You think about Haworth, which was where the Bronte sisters lived. The Bronte sisters were Victorian writers. I've been up there, and there is mysticism abound upon those moors. And the place where the parsonage is that they lived in. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. So yeah, Brontes could do it. So I'm getting a vision now of them sat around that dining table. I hope people know who the Brontes are. They're not going, what's she on about now? The Bronte sisters in Yorkshire, go Google them, Haworth. Um, if I remember, because don't forget I now don't upload these videos. I let Gary upload these. I let Gary upload these. He does all the tech now. I don't do any of it. When I used to do it, it was all a bare basic video. I then go and put the links in afterwards, but sometimes I can forget. I'll try and remember, and I'll put the Bronte channelings down below, and you can catch up. But I'm getting a vision of that dining table, and that being like a vortex where they used to sit around and do their writing, do their painting, the crackle of the fire, because fire can help you to go as well. Running water is whatever your element is that you work. The wind, the wildness of the moors. Again, we're still in Haworth. Church bells can be one as well. Church bells get me going a lot in a relation to. In fact, years ago, I was walking through Leeds city centre and I heard the church bells, and I actually, so no, that was my first time because that was late 90s or early noughties. And I had an episode in the middle of a precinct of, I went into old fashioned Leeds with the church bells. So church bells, fire, crackling sound, um, wind, water, music like that I've just shown you, stillness, not losing ourselves to the collective clutter and chatter. And I know it's really hard at the minute because they're ramping it up, aren't they, this week? Sharpening of your spiritual skills and flexing those spiritual muscles and awakening muscles is going to be vital going forward. Um, Spiritual maturity as well. We've all started using tarot and found it. I'm going to play with my tarot cards. I'm going to play with my crystals. I'm going to go to a ghost hunt. I used to go ghost hunting. I don't anymore. Um, but that's not spiritual maturity. That's when we're being, and I've done that in the past. Going to get my cards out to play. It's when we're being childish with it, to treat it as a craft, and it's almost like I'm sensing the druid energy here, to really treat it like the druids would have done. They wouldn't have been giggling, doing all the stuff. It would have been it's a craft. It's got to be part of you, and it's not something you can just pick up and leave behind. It's not like a minute. Oh, I might just try shamanic healing, see how it works. Oh, I might just try a bit of Reiki. Any craft you do, God, who does that remind you of? My God, do I do that all the time? Do I do that all the time? Is that something I picked up because he's on the news a lot at the minute? Anyway, where were we? I have totally tangented myself now and lost track. Let's pull back. I've lost myself now. What were we talking about? Oh, but it was interesting as well. It can't have been that interesting. I wouldn't have forgotten. Um, got to be taken seriously. It's not something you just pick up. Any craft you do, if you're going to do Reiki, you got to do it regular. If you're going to have shamanic healing, it's got to be something you do regular. Shamanic healing, a couple of times a year, once a year. Very different to Reiki shamanic healing. Reiki is very light and like a good maintainer. Shamanic healing is a woof. Let's get there. Let's get it sorted. It's like anything. You can't just pick your tarot cards as and when. You've got to use them a lot for yourself. Often when I'm on holiday, I'll take a deck with me, and every day I pull cards for myself. Even sometimes if there's something going collectively, I'll have a sneaky look and have a look at the energies just to keep bonding with your tools. It's not something you can just pick up and drop. It's not a fashion statement. It's not to be spoken about with ego, because that's how we lost these abilities, because we used them as ego. I can time travel. I can do this. Well, I can time travel physically. Well, I can do this. And we lost it. So it's about treating it as a sacred part of you. Um, Anything else in relation to this subject? I'm seeing the next 10 years, lots more gifts. I hate saying the word gifts. Oh, she's gifted. Lots more gifts are going to be coming back on grid um, for many people. And many people are going to be overwhelmed with it, which is why it's important to get serious with it. When I say serious, that's probably the wrong word, but get spiritually mature with it. Get respectful of it. Get empowered with it. Stepping into your divine feminine and masculine, um, stepping back into your inner shaman, your inner druid. Um, Also, as well, if you're intrigued by the Bermuda Triangle, stone circles, Titanic, all these things where strange things have happened, that's also a sign that you can do it. Um, a lot of you as well have many gifts, but you're scared of it. I think this came through in yesterday's video. You're scared of it. You're scared of overusing it. You're scared of not getting it right. You're scared of being persecuted and punished for it. You've got to step out of that as well. If you're wanting to do things like time travel, journeying, the you know, getting more and more confident with it, the bigger stuff, but you can't even get your tarot cards out until your family you read tarot, you're not going to be able to do the bigger stuff. You're not going to be able to have those big experiences because you're suppressing it. Also, as well, making peace with the traumas that you've gone on in your life. I know that can be triggering for people. How do you make peace with it? Again, it's about being spiritually, mentally, and life mature with it as well. Does that make sense? Let's pull the commentary. What decks have I got up there? Time travel in the future. Time travel in the future. Past. The past ways coming back up. The crossroads. Two of Swords. Emotional fulfillment. The world in reverse. Let's do a clarifier for the world in reverse. Wheel of Fortune, but it can't be stopped. I know this card can be about emotional fulfillment, but it can also be about greed. It can also be about, people that are greedy. I don't just mean, well, it can be about overeating and stuff and over drinking, but it can also be about the rich and greed and the rich wanting to stop, um, or certain groups wanting to stop certain things happening. But actually, this is fated. This is meant to happen like this. And we are now at the crossroads. God, now we've had Trump in this video, and now we've got Gordon Ramsay. Claire, stop it. So we're at the crossroads. Two of Swords. You get to choose. They do it. I did do it. It's the wheel of it can't be stopped. We've got to want this more than anything in our lives. You've got to want your freedom, your liberation. You've got to want to embrace your gifts, but also being grounded with it. So it's not, yesterday's video, it was about, speaking your truth about who you are and sharing with people who you are. But there is a fine line with that as well, because it's about getting that fine. Some people can become really ungrounded and they can become really intrusive with the gift. Um, you get it a lot. You get it a lot. I'm trying to think of examples. Um, for example, you'll be sat in your hairdressers and there'll be psychic Sally sat opposite you. And say she kind of knows you, or in some cases they don't know you. And they will come up to you and they will say, I can feel this in your energy. I'm a psychic. I'm a healer. I'm a shaman. Very few shamans you'll come across day to day, so watch out for that. Anybody proclaiming to be a shaman, if there's not some not tribal heritage, but some, you know what I mean. If it's some influencer, but not a shaman. Um, that's what I mean by that. Or it's somebody coming and saying there's something wrong with your energy, or I can feel this, or I can feel your dead mother all around you. And they want to tell the whole hairdressers that they're psychic, that they've got the gift, that they come from a long lineage. Yeah, I'm 1,000 psychic of my family. Come from a long line, and they want to tell everybody that's not it. That's not spiritual maturity. I hate that energy. Told you the story about what happened to me when I came across a psychic that told me that she saw the energy of a little girl around me. We were not in any kind of setting for that conversation, and it was like, you what? What are you doing? Who gave you permission for that? What it is, what's your interest in telling people, and then reading the room if they really look a bit, stepping back, but not denying yourself, not hiding who you are. But neither are we ramming it down people's throat or going to Hampton Court and going, I'm a time traveller, I'm making a big thing of it. It's about being able to go to somewhere like Hampton Court or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Um, and this is not, I don't think this has got anything to do with time travel. Um, but there's an energy at the minute, and I was thinking about it this well, midday, washing the dishes. You know the divide. Well, that could be the Two of Swords actually as well, the divide that's going on at the minute. So many people are really turning away from light. They're really making a decision to turn away from light, spirituality, any kind of faith or belief system. They're going into the dark. They're going into the fear, the underbelly. They're going into fight or flight. They're going into all of that. They're not even trying to attempt. They're not making steps to come to the light. They are literally muggles, okay? And these people are out there. Some of you are feeling this separation energy. Maybe people that you've loved and or spent time with, and there's a sadness here. Um, Again, there's this energy of not everyone can do this at the same time because it would be pandemonium. But there is a choice here for every single human on this planet to start making those steps, those small, short steps on this process of evolution. Um, so how do people deal with that when they feel they're losing people? Um, Acceptance. Some people were only meant to be on the journey for so long with you, and some people were not meant to be on certain parts of the journey. They were needed when you were in certain aspects of your evolution, maybe in a denser aspect, but they can't come into the new aspect. So you have to let them go with love. Why every time when I text them do they ignore? Why do they do this? Why are they not coming to see me? Why are they being more and more reckless? Um, why do they mock my belief system? Interesting. I love this kind of stuff. So let's round this video up. Let me know of any questions you've got at the bottom in the comment section. We will be doing more of these videos. I know I do the Daily Tarot, but we do other stuff on here. And I will revisit this subject as and when I get more information. Don't doubt yourself. Don't mock yourself. Don't mock others as well. I don't think. Do you know? I think that the hardcore subscribers on here, they're not. You're not nasty people. We get people coming in from outside that are a bit tapped. This is really. It can be a problem at times. Not anymore, but we know what we mean. Focus on you. Many of you don't realize just how strong and gifted you are. And yeah, so what a video. Wonder what the celebrity will visit us. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Yeah, so that's where I am with that time travel. So I'm a time traveler. Are you a time traveler? Let me know in the comments if you think you're a time traveler. Maybe even just put I'm a time traveler. If you get to the end of this video, we haven't done emojis on here for a while, have we? If you get to the end of this video and you'd like to leave a comment but not sure what to put, I want you to leave me stars or a magic wand or an alchemist or a wizard, something that is about alchemy and mysticism and meditation, whatever spirituality your belief system. Let me know about what you believe in the emojis. Have some fun. And yes, I will put this video in the, I don't know what playlist it'll go in, the Shamanic Wisdom, but also maybe the Explorations of Places. We will be doing that. We will be picking that back up again, and having a look at, probably, maybe, have we done one on the Twin Towers? I'm intrigued. We'll do one on the Twin Towers. What's the playlist called? So you can have a look for it. So I get it right without telling people bullshit. There's a playlist, Shamanic Wisdom, which it will be this video we're going into, so have to work your way through there as well. Mystery Files, that's it, the Mystery Files. So far we've had a look at Avalon, the tour. We had a look at the ancient history and symbolism of Princess Diana's grave. We've done Stonehenge, we've done Bermuda Triangle, we've done Titanic and Atlantis connection. There you go. So I'll add this to it as well. And we'll keep doing it. There won't be every week. There won't, but there will be slowly catch a monkey. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.